What's a secret you are only willing to share anonymously? Nice try. Copper. I'm 26 and I still sleep with a blanket and stuffy. Why part with it if it affects no one else? When I was younger. During New Year's Eve we were having a party. I really messed up and set a building on fire. I am so alone. I don't know how to socialize like a normal human being. I have many secrets that I want to keep secrets. But why not share this one? And hashtag X200B. I have many friends. But I honestly could go years without seeing them and be mentally fine. Hell. Not being with anyone for a long time is not just fine. But I prefer that over actually seeing other people. I have a micro penis. Literally. In 8th grade health class, the entire class had 3 weeks to find a group and finish a Google Slides presentation about learning the effects and consequences of ATOD, alcohol, tobacco, opiates and drugs, for minors. Every group was full and I was the only one that had no group. I asked the teacher if I could work by myself, but he said I needed a group. So for the next 3 weeks I did absolutely nothing in class while everyone was working on a project worth 50% of their grade. When it was time to present, I had to quickly started thinking what was my plan. I noticed one of the groups there was a guy absent, so I decided to join in without actually being there. When that 3-man group was about to present, I told the health teacher I needed to go to the bathroom and it was an emergency. He asked what group I was and I pointed to the group that was missing a 4th. He excused me and I told him I forgot to write my name in the front slide, but I worked on the project overall. He said it was all right and gave me a hallway pass. I am surprised how this all went accordingly. I bite my nails. Because it helps me think faster. And it calms me. In some occasions. I eat the nails. I shit myself in 3rd grade in the middle of the day. And couldn't go and change. I had to sit in my own shit for 4 hours. Second worst experience of my life. I get scared shitless when people sing happy birthday to me because I don't know what to do. I used to suck my thumb up till the age of like 12. But I had braces, so I stopped. I don't know why it embarrasses me so bloody much. Never openly said it before until now. I bought used shoes of a teacher I had a crush on and regret nothing. I want to kill myself. And I'm only alive because I don't want to cause pain to my boyfriend. Also, my cat wouldn't understand where I had gone. I'm also terrified of ending up with locked-in syndrome if I failed. I lived in another country for a couple years, when I was 10 to 11 years old, and I was bullied. Ignored and just had an awful time. It impacted my confidence and self-esteem a lot. I have plenty of friends in my home country now and they don't know at all. I'm crushing hard on a coworker. I don't want to tell him. Though. Because of plans. To leave the country after I get my certification, and I doubt he'd want to leave, which is completely understandable. I had a boyfriend for 6 months. Still don't know his name. Had a friend who shit himself playing a horror game in 3rd grade. 5 years later I'm the only one who remembers it aside from him, so we made an agreement to never speak of it ever again. I daydream about super awful things, like my loving relationship turning, abusive family members dying, etc., and I don't know why. Sometimes I can't help it. Sometimes it's comfortable in a way. Nothing is anonymous. My old roommate's girlfriend came onto me a couple times. Once at a costume party. I had a ripped up shirt as part of my costume and she drunkenly put her hand through a rip and gave me a big grope. Another time we were just sitting at the table together and I jokingly said, "We should just move out of here and go find a place together." Turns out she was all about that idea and tried to convince me to do it with her. I lived with both her as well already. She eventually moved out. But I never did tell my roommate that. She was hot. Too. That I write, if anyone IRL found the garbage I write. I'd literally off myself. I'm completely burned out and have been depressed for about 12 to 13 years. I spent the last year working up to 20 hours per day and it's killing me. I've tried different medications. Therapists. Weird holistic mumbo jumbo and nothing helps. I had a severe panic attack at work yesterday and still went into work today. I wish I could afford to take a break, but I don't have the funds and I don't want my family to know I'm struggling. They all have their own problems already. My childhood really fucked me up. I've always known who and what I am. But the environments I grew up in never nurtured the full me. My parents weren't abusive at all. But my dad, being military, had views on certain things that he didn't support. Then there were the people in school that made it hard to be yourself. This all led to a very fractured view of who I really am. My wife accepts me for who I am and I stay loyal to her. And that is what makes me happier than anything. I was asked to stand up and read in an English class age 13 and pissed myself with fear as I couldn't read. I had to go get a mop, clean it up, whilst the teacher and class just called me out. I was then called ############################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################################### I feel really alone, and the only thing that keeps me going is that I can still go to work. I didn't see any of my friends since over a month now. Most of them even longer. I couldn't visit my family for Christmas because the borders are either closed or highly monitored with forced quarantine when you cross it for more than 12 hours. I will spend New Year's also alone at home. Probably getting stupidly drunk while switching between 3 online games in the hopes that someone comes online I can talk to. I convinced myself that my life was over 10 years ago, 35. Now I just exist until death. I feel extremely unmotivated and bad about myself, but my parents think I am just really lazy. I sometimes daydream about having children. I even have a name lined up if I accidentally had a baby. To the world. Though. I'm child-free and proud. When I was a teenager, I thought that girls with glasses and braces were super cute. This will most likely be buried. But fuck it. I went through years of mental health issues after high school, causing me to fail out of university all the while still living at home. I finally got help for my issues. Got my CS degree. And got a great job 3 years ago. I was finally looking to move out when my father died last year. I still live at home with my mother as I do not want to leave her alone during a global pandemic. I plan to get my own place once the vaccine is available. But even then I feel guilty about leaving my mother alone even though she wants me to get my own place. I am almost 35 and I have never been in a relationship. I am tired of being alone. But being a 35-year-old virgin who still lives at home is not an attractive quality to women, for obvious reasons. It's not sex that I am yearning for, although that would be great, more than I am yearning for companionship. I am terrified about the prospect of being alone for the rest of my life. But I do not see a future where I am not. Every time I start to believe that a good future could exist for me, something horrible happens. If I didn't have any family I would consider just ending my life. But I could never put my family through that. It's interesting looking back at my life and realizing that I have always been alone. Silly things like group projects in school. I was always the odd person out. Even last year when we had a workshop session at work and we were asked for form groups. I was the odd one out, like Milton in Office Space. Maybe my place in the universe is to be alone. Throwaway account here. As a child, like 6 to 7, maybe even 8. There was this person I was friends with. She was older than me and had older sisters. Maybe around 15 years old. I don't know. I don't want to remember. So the girl I was friends with used to kiss me a lot, like a lot. With the tongue and all. And she would hump me sometimes too. Since I was little, I thought it was normal. But it was really f***eat up. Her older sisters sometimes kissed me as well if I went to their house. It's a terrible memory and I haven't told it to anyone. Also sorry this was a bit darker, lol. Sometimes I wonder if posts like these are phishing scams to dox people and blackmail them. I ain't sharing it. We use our small but growing business to help people in need. Donate. Provide jobs. Engage in community projects, and almost no one knows. Nice try, FBI. You'll never find the folder. I do know that if I'm schizophrenic. But like I get scared in the dark for whatever reason. Like I want to try psychedelics and hallucinations. I heard they really expose or bring up hidden schizophrenia in people who have it and don't know or don't have it as strong. From what I read, people who have schizophrenia think certain things happening in the world are speaking to them. They think they are some chosen one or some shit like that. And while I don't think I'm the chosen or anything, there are times I wonder, well, maybe I do think at times and I don't know it. I don't think I'm schizophrenic, but I always do wonder that I'm bisexual. 3. I have a fetish for girls wearing white Converse or Keds. Sometimes I don't know if I like men enough to be with one for the rest of my life. But I want the advantages of having a husband and biological children. I have severely beaten several people who physically abused others many years ago. The whole purpose of my job is to physically place mentally sick patients in 8x 6 feet seclusion cells. Inject them or put them in 5-point restraint beds. Secure them while they receive electroshock therapy, ECT, etc. Sometimes it's for the best, but the job is mentally draining. I sometimes find a lot of the things that humans do cringe. Everything is just so fucking cringe, sometimes it drives me insane, but I just can't help it. When I was at a friend's house in the 3rd grade, I found her dad's underwear, and for some reason I thought it was illegal to see other people's underwear. So I went to their bathroom and tried to flush down the evidence. Well, I clogged the toilet. So I just ran outside with my friend and her sisters and thought nothing of it. We went inside a while later and chilled. Later I could hear my friend's mom yelling from the bathroom, "FM, fake name, what did you do?" She was yelling at her youngest daughter, who was 2, thinking she did it. And to this day, when I think about it, I feel really bad I let the blame on my friend's little sister. Thanks for watching.